Hello, anyone who might be watching. This is Paul here, and what I am going to do is something a little different this time. And you're wondering, what the hell are you going to do, Paul? What are you going to do, you crazy dude? And I am going to try modeling a car, not by box modeling, but by sculpting. Because I'm crazy like that. What I will do, though, however, is make the box into a basic mold or template which to sculpt out of. So yeah, I'll just get a very generic shape, and on top of that, I'll start sculpting and laying down the clay. So let's do that. Let's do something with this box. So what I want to have is the box a little bit wider. A bit longer. And really generic car profile shape right now. But that should get us started, you know? So what I'm gonna do is go sculpt crazy on this. And try to get something that looks reasonable. Yeah, it's like not a conventional process, but in a way it kind of does mirror a more old-fashioned process, maybe. So people who do model the cars, like for the car industry, do use clay. So yeah, I'm gonna try doing it this way, and really it's not going to be like a mesh that you actually use to make the car. It's going to be something that you dynamic topology over it, but it would be a template to rebuild a new mesh over, so to make a actual car model, but to establish the shapes and forms and all that, I'm going to try sculpting. It's crazy, I know. So this is a generic basic shape. Just make sure it's to scale and everything. And all right, I'm gonna try to jump in and do this. I'm gonna pull out my tablet instead of the mouse pretty soon and sculpt mode. Well, before sculpt mode, you know, one thing I should do is make the mesh a little denser, just so it doesn't get too weird on me. So what I do is, where is this? Is there like a remesh? And turn on the wires here just so I can see what's going on. You can see it's a little goofy, but something like that. I think that'll work. You know, those planes are a little funny, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to apply it just so I have a denser mesh, so when it triangulates and stuff, when I use dynamic topology, it won't be too crude on me. Alright, now I can turn the wire off. And I'm going to use my GLSL and a display. Where's my mat cap? There it is. Turn that on. And let's pick a funky, is it a clay or something like that? Or like more traditional red clay looking thing. Okay, that'll do. So now I go to a sculpty mode. Sculpey mode. Sculpty's fun, but yeah. Alright, and can hide the properties panel there, and I have the tool panel nice and big. I want my curve turned on, and the stroke turned on, and the texture I can probably drag down below them. So I'm not going to be using that too much right now. Below the curve there. Dynamic topology. I want that turned on. I think that will be it for now. So enable dynamic topology. I'm going to cut this down to 8 for now. And symmetrize. Symmetry lock is on X. That's the way I want it. Okay, so it starts out that way. Good. Alright, tablet time. One of those people that uses both a mouse and a tablet, so I don't ever bother to emulate a 3-button mouse. I know some people say do that, but in my case, I just map one of my keys, the front rocker, to the middle mouse button, so I can just move with the stylus like this on the middle mouse button, and the back rocker is on the F key. And basically, with the front rocker, I can hold down Shift or Control with my free hand to zoom in and out, or Shift and do that. And I can also do Shift and Control with the free hand on the F key to get the other functions related to the brush. So it's fast. No need to go to 3-button mode unless you really, really need to, but or not the 3-button, but the emulate button, whatever that thing is. I don't need to do it, so I don't. And now it's time to get this smaller and start smoothing stuff out. Let's try to develop our car shape here. Get a little bit more aerodynamic. Shave it out. And scrape brush is probably a good one. Can actually turn the strength way up on this, I think. Excuse me. Dinner is good tonight, but you don't need to hear it, right? Notice I'm doing stuff with the curve and thing here. A lot of people have pre-made brushes, but the thing is, like, when you do it that way, you can't see how the brushes are set up. It's like they say use this brush and this brush, but they never tell you how the brush is actually set up. I don't do sculpting a lot, so I don't really have preset brushes, so you will probably see me adjusting them a lot. So, just do that. That. And clay, a little bit on the side. Actually, I need to turn the strength up on this too. Because when you have this little thing turned on there for pressure sensitivity, you actually want this to level up because it's going to multiply by your pressure. So, this little thing I found. Bulge here. And just smooth it out a bit. See, I'm establishing some kind of lines already. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. It was. Probably go a finer detail brush. Probably could, huh? Yeah. I'm going to go scrape that. You don't want too much curvature on the sides of the windows, because if you think about how a real car is, there's like a limit to it, because the windows have to roll up and down. If you have too much curvature, it will make it impossible to have a working window on your car. At least from a realism standpoint. You know, some cars actually did that, and they had split windows, like I forgot what the little Subaru car was in the early 80s. It was like a little sport car thing. It had split windows because of that, and some of the exotic cars had the split windows back in the day because you were just too rake to have a window that could actually roll down. But then somebody figured out that was really inconvenient because stuff like drive-thrus are popular. So, yeah, just think. Unless you intend your car never to like see much street use. I try to design more practical or more common style cars, so it's not like too hot just yet. Probably need to dial this one up to you and alright, what else do I need? That's fine. For this, I think you do something like steeper, and I can probably delete that one and this one more like a vector. Something like that, maybe. A funky car shape, but it looks cool already. Alright. It's just a roughed out shape, you know, it doesn't have to be like the final form. This is not the final form yet. What was that like? Is it like from Dragon Ball or something? Or just, I think that's Pokemon. I don't know which. I don't know which, man. I don't keep on top of every single thing. Alright. I'm going to have to work the detail level a little bit smaller, man, because this is going to be... Smooth it, smooth it. Smooth it out, weird. I gotta zoom in. And What a funky looking car, man. Alright. Is that gonna look cool? I don't know if that's gonna look cool yet, but it's my car, I can do what I want, right? Oh, and here on the flatten, if you gotta click that little lock by area plane, that helps bring the flatten out a little bit stronger. I believe the same is also true of the scrape peak. But, yep. Yeah, I'm not a big talker. So if you haven't noticed already, well, talking enough. It's just kind of hard to do this, like, busy. It'd be more fun if I had somebody to talk to. The thing with that is I've done, this YouTube has that thing where you can do, like, what is it, the Google Plus, what do you call it, Hangouts? And I've had a Hangout up, and I've done it for like an hour, and nobody showed up. And I don't know when to schedule it. I would like feedback, so if somebody's interested in actually doing it, I would actually do it. But it's just a matter of scheduling the darn thing. So if anybody is interested, yeah, I'm not a super sculptor yet, so this is kind of experimental for me. I'm more used to like box modeling the more traditional way, but you can kind of see I've got something going on here. Something. And grease to establish the windshield line of some kind. Smooth lines and grill. And I think I will, how am I going to do this? I'm doing something a little crazier. So what I want to do is have like some kind of little relief thing here, and trying to think how I'm going to do that. Some details will have to be modeled in later, but I am establishing forms. That's pretty much the idea of this. Get some kind of concept goofed out, really rough, which I can trace over when modeling with the actual how do you call it? It's a little tricky sometimes because it gets fast when you're moving around sometimes. So I do my retopo thing. This you turn way up, and then you lock the airplane, and then you can drag back here. So, and, oh, it helps to have it like that on the curve. If I can get in here. The view is really fast from this angle, I don't know why. There, that's kind of flatness I want. And then I gotta smooth that out. Here. And crease here. Crease there like so. Getting at that angle I need to be, that's tricky sometimes. Especially when it's really touchy. Now, I could hop out of it and reset my view and then hop back in, but I don't know if I want to do that just yet. Does look kind of cool though. Even if I don't 100% know how I'm doing this. It seems like it took more of a chunk out than I wanted. Oh well, I could probably turn the strength down, yeah? It is. I am zoomed in a lot, that's probably why it seems so fast. Alright. Oh, where is it? There. That's the one I want. Yeah, I want this one for and so somebody say to smooth on each side of the pinch, and then or scrape, I guess, depending on how you want to do it. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Bring the strength back up a little bit. Or I could use hold down Shift and F, and that also does the strength, right? Yeah. That looks kind of cool. It's like a air scoop slash intercooler looking thing. And do a big V thing here. Thinking of adding a center hood crease because I think that looks kind of cool. Garlic. gotta do is push that back in with the layer and hold down Control and just take a big old chunk out. So that's where the grill would go, but now I just want to inset and smooth it out and flatten it. So you get that relief where the grill would go. Flatten, and it's locked on, and strength's pretty high. Man, I need to scrape that first. Back to the crease. Strength up again. Yeah, it's looking kind of nasty right now. I don't care. Lost my shape a little bit there. I'll fix it though. I'll fix it. It's just a matter of knowing how to do this. There we go. Yeah, switch to that one. Is this thing locked in axis? No, it's not. It's just being weird. I don't know. You can lock it to an axis still. A view plane is it? It's area plane. Well, area plane should be the surface. Maybe I should lock it to the view plane. Kind of gets closer. Yeah, I just gotta smooth it. Smooth it, sucker. The idea is just to have that relief in there, you know? But I wanted that square edge, so I'm gonna have to bring that back somehow and slap some clay onto this edge. It's too soft. And scrape it in it. Bit there and drag that down there like so. Add a vector handle and there. That'll help. Remember seeing that trick somewhere. Don't remember who did it, but it was pretty good. So I'm copying what they did. They knew what they were doing. Alright. That's where I really do it in this aspect. I'm having fun with it. Alright. What I really want to do is bring that back down also. should just layer that. Is that how it works? Very thin layer though, like real thin. That's it. You don't need too much. Shoot, yeah. That's a lot. Maybe let's take the strength down. Yeah, that's a lot better. What I do want is a harder edge to it though. As you can tell, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. But it is building where I need it to build. Or where I'd like it to build. Still want it to come down to a point. Like a big V on the nose of this thing. Alright. Well, I know if I do a native crease, I can build up that way. Right there. And smooth that out. This might be a bit strong. Yikes. That's a bit messy, huh? Ew. Did not like that, but some ways it kind of does what I want, and in other ways it's not doing what I want. Like I said, I'm not used to sculpting. So it a dozen times now, didn't I? Yeah. That to a sharp point to sculpt on. I know retopoing it, I could just drag an edge right there and have that whole straight defined by an edge and break it down over the curvature, but sculpting is a different paradigm. It is. So if you come from box modeling and you're doing it this way, it's totally a different trick, I'll tell you that. Well, it does look neat to watch other people do it, especially when they know what they're doing. I think that worked better than I expected there. Alright. So what is that ear scoop to have that V shape to it. And smooth but scrape. Where is it? Scrapey. Be confused with the livestock disease. That's scrapey. Scrape where I'm just trying to probably do this better, just do it instead of talking. See why people play music while they do this. You know, you don't learn what they're doing. I can bet you some people are just turning me off and playing music while they're watching me do this. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't. I don't care. If you want to do that, go ahead. Alright. So lumpy, but see why I guess it takes hours to do this, right? This particular approach is different, but as you can see, I am developing something interesting. Even though it is not what I'm used to doing. Figured if it works for angular looking robots, where their faces look like motorcycle fairings, sure it has to work for cars. Alright. Okay. So that's why I'm trying to do it like this. That's where I got the idea from. Alright. Ew. It's pulling out there. I don't know. Dear, no, that's working nice. That's the trick to it. Yeah, did it again, no. What's going on with this thing, man? Kind of car this is, but it's funky car, man. It is funky right now. It's gonna get an area where I'm trying to establish where the wheels are, sorta, in my mind. It's not exactly drawn out. Working on the front end so far. This thing's tricky looking. I haven't even established like where the roof pillars are yet. Those do have to come up. It's that little scoop where the windshield wipers rest, whatever they call that. Where all the rain goes down and gets caught in that thing where it gets into your air conditioning blower and then all the rotten leaves and stuff collecting. And then it stinks up your car and you can't clean it out because your fingers won't fit in there and the piece doesn't come off easy that covers up the grid. And you know there's like leaves and moistness in there and you can't get it. Cars are fun, aren't they? But it's just the way they design it, man. Alright. Dang it. I think it's funny thinking about that, but I'm trying to figure out how did I get this in here. It doesn't want to do what I want to do. My movement's getting goofy on me again, man. Like, I'm gonna have to hop out of sculpt mode and hit the period key and zoom back in and go back to sculpt mode. Sometimes it does that, like your movement just decides to not want to work anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. Well, I guess I could try doing I gotta enable that again and optimize. Maybe that helps some. Ah, freaking A. Freaking A. So. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I know you're finding me so entertaining. I don't have that many insights on this. Like I said, it'd be more fun to bounce ideas off. Maybe somebody else would know what they're doing and say, hey, dumbass, do this. Be happy to oblige that. Alright. Especially if it is somebody who I know what they're doing. There's only like a handful of people like that. I do know them from the forums. Alright. There's that windshield draw area. And that windshield could have a lot more rig to it. Could. This car's roof line is sticking out so far right now. Well, there's one way to fix that. Start scraping stuff off. Scrape it! Bet scrape brush is popular at the auto studios. Bet it is. How much I'm willing to bet? Like penny, because I am broke right now. I'm not going to be asking for a handout. You know, people hate that. There is like a donate button if you want it, or if you want to play with the donate button. Maybe not on my YouTube page, but on my share CG stuff. Same name. Same name, at Hotmail. So if you know my name at Hotmail, you know my name at PayPal. But yeah, I'm not gonna bug you about. It's like it gets old fast. It's just like watching the telethons. Nobody wants to watch the telethons. You want to watch Nova, not the telethon. Even though the telethon is what pays for Nova. I know how that goes. So, hell. At least if you're in the States, you know what that's about. Because PBS. One of the few good things tax dollars are good for. Public Broadcasting System. Alright. I guess in Europe, some of the regular channels are kind of like a hybrid between commercial and public. It's weird. So here in the US, we have like the PBS channels, and we have the commercial channels, and we have the cable channels. Well, it's kind of all blurred. Most people are like, we got internet now, just watch some videos on YouTube. Screw that. Or go to the streaming sites. Catch the shows that they don't play in this country. Like, if you're an anime, it's like really the only option, man. I mean, Toonami does not have the biggest list. It's like a handful that whoever decided they like. There's like 1,000 others that never get to make it on airtime and TV here. Either because it's too weird, or people don't think you'll get the humor in Japan. I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter what they're speaking, if shit's funny, it's funny. Sometimes it's probably like an inside joke, you'd have to live in the country to get it, but it's just so weird that over here, it's funny because it's weird. Like, what the hell are they? And then you're just like, that's funny shit. Hard to explain, but you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. Eesh. Yeah. You know what? I wish this thing had like a little plus button over here to save your own custom profiles. Because in that way you wouldn't have to save them all to like a dozen different brushes when you just need to change the profile for the same brush. Just a thought. But I don't know if anyone would be listening to that. Ew, I did not want to dent that. I did not want to dent that. Well, how do we fix it? Smooth it out, I guess. Close enough. What I wanted to do is that one. And I probably want. Sure, that one would. Down here. Smooth it out. I'm liking this hood shape. Kind of reminds me of sewer, but it's not a sewer. It's whatever this thing is. Whatever this thing is, man, it's funky. Alright. I don't even have an idea for a name for it. And, what is this thing, man? This is a funky car right now. Kinda liking it. But I don't know what I would call it yet. Where's my scraper brush? Right here. Yeah. That has some interesting lines. Belt Linus diving down and I don't think it's a Homer, but it's weird. It's like the 70s car got that swoosh down and up, but it's kind of like a Japanese card for it, like sewer or something. And problem is it's lumpy because I'm not used to sculpting, so I know I can't get this exactly perfect. Still gotta figure out the headlight shape and front scoop. I could probably flatten this out some more. I spent too long on that, didn't I? Scraper. Why is the scraper at a weird angle, man? Is there another setting I need to... I think that does anything. I could probably just use a smaller brush. Still coming across at a funny angle. It says it's on area plane. Just make it more mild and work from there, I suppose. Use a flat. Yeah, let's... Let's turn its strength up. It's really deep right now. Screw it, just turn the strength all the way up. There. Why is it doing that? Get down in there. Down in there. What? I'm gonna start smoothing that out. A little bit of crease. Just start. Dial the finish area down a bit. It is really recessed in here. That's where a grill or something will go. I'm not too worried about that just yet. Time to scrape. Time to smooth. Kind of picking it up. Now to get into that area. See, now it's moving really fast again. Oh wow. It's already been an hour, man. You know what? I think I'll cut this short for now. If you're interested in seeing how this car progresses, comment, and I'll keep working on this damn thing. Otherwise, I'll probably put it in the back burner pile and see if it progresses into something else or not. It's a weird looking car, but I think it's kind of neat just so far with the thing I did on the hood and this funky little profile. It's hard to get sharp edges with the dynamic topology, so the guys that do the robots and stuff, they really got their technique worked out. But for a car, it's kind of interesting, so maybe I'll work on a tail end or the headlight layout or something. Go from there. But you can see it's interesting to develop shapes using this method, so yeah, why not? I'm going to wrap it up for now and post the video and see if you like it. Until then, next time. Where's my little icon there? There it is.